Avowed is good. Thank God. After experiencing the game myself for quite a few hours, I can confidently and finally say that Avowed is gonna be a good game. Let's be honest, that very first gameplay trailer did not look good. The combat looked stiff, the world didn't look interesting, the characters were iffy. It wasn't looking good, and I was disappointed because I was looking forward to this game. Fast forward, I got to play the game for hours, and it's good. It takes place in the Living Lands after the events of Deadfire. So all of the soul, creepy weirdness that you'd expect is here, and it looks pretty. You, however, are not a watcher. You play a godlike character, and the NPCs react to you as such because during the character creation screen, you can add these features on your hair or on your face that basically symbolize you not like them. Some characters are creeped out, some are curious, some are interested. All sorts of things play off of this, and I love that idea. But fear not, they give you the option to hide these features if you don't deem them drippy enough for your character. Speaking of the NPCs, I enjoy talking to them,
I like him just as much as one should like an ex-husband.
or even listening in on some of their conversations because they feel like they have their own world going on. They're unique and the dialogue isn't trash. Dare I say it, I even chuckled a bit at a few of the lines. And the NPCs not only being tolerable, but actually enjoyable is a big deal because this carries over to your companions. And the one companion I had with me that whole time is cool as shit. I like him.
Keeps things interesting.
His writing was cool, his voice acting was fucking phenomenal, and he was helpful
Let's check the Watermill for supplies.
outside of combat. We'll talk about that later. But even when we're exploring the open world, he has his little tidbits that he would say, but they were extremely helpful. Let's look over there. Maybe we should look on top.
I think there's something on the upper floor. We might be able to reach it from outside.
I know that is a thorn in a lot of players' sides nowadays, but I didn't mind it in this game. It didn't feel like he was bugging me. It felt like an actual helpful suggestion. But he is not very helpful in it.
Don't get too used to the comforts of parodies.
One of the few things that I complained to them about was, yo, Mr. Combat Director, sir, please make these companions not die every 5 seconds. Which brings me to my next complaint. Look, the combat is fun. It's way better than what they showed before. I love this no class system that they have going on. I love the dual wielding of different things. It's very cool, very fun. However, I can foresee a future where the combat becomes more nuisance than enjoyable time, because the enemies basically boil down to bullet sponges. There's a few different mechanics where like you'll have a healer, a bigger damage dealer, a ranger, etc. But that's normal. At some point when you come to that boss, he will simply be a bullet sponge. That coupled with the fact that, yeah, it's a classless system and you kind of put points wherever you want in the skill tree, I can imagine myself, this is a personal thing, I can imagine a world where like I make my build and like that's it. Like I see no point in switching it up really. Even if I make like some different things for fun, I can again just imagine myself getting bored with the combat specifically. However, like I said in some of my short form videos on TikTok or Instagram, you should follow me over there at 8bit Close Fist. I don't think I'm going to be playing this game for combat. Again, Skyrim's combat was ass. All right, it wasn't good. But I played it and it was fun and it did what it needed to do. I think this combat is probably better than that. So I think it will be fine, especially given the fact that I think the world is interesting. Exploring is very rewarding. I know it sounds like a very simple thing, but every time I looked over my shoulder to go to a little crevice in the mountain somewhere, I found something and it was cool. It was worth it. That's a very important thing for these type of games for me. And this one does it pretty well. The developers even said that like through a lot of their playthroughs, some people didn't even find a lot of the stuff there. And we all played it for like a few hours and like maybe one person found this one specific thing that they were talking about. I love that. They also mention different quest lines and how they're not so linear. You can get a quest and have already done the thing that you needed to do or missed out on something. You can even accomplish quests differently. I reached a point in the game where I came into this house that was supposed to be run by some of the enemies. I walked into the front door because I'm a real one. But after exploring a little bit, I seen that I could have blew up a wall to the side or come through the back, and that's cool. One thing each member of the dev team expressed when I was talking to them during my interviews was the freedom of choice and how each of your choices will have consequences. But I didn't take their word for it because a lot of devs say that and I'm often left unfulfilled. But I talked to some of my, I guess I'll call them colleagues, who played the game with me, and nah, it's facts because we discussed certain missions that we came across and how we went about them differently and chose different dialogue options. So I am more inclined to believe them when they say that the game's story will unfold differently depending on the stories that you make. I love it. I think this might be a true return to form for Obsidian. For real. I like the game. I was having fun. I didn't want to stop playing it. And I was hungry, so that's a really big deal. All in all, my hands-on preview of Avowed have led me to confidently believe that this game will be well written. The dialogue will be funny. It will be interesting. The characters will have personality. The story will be well told. The combat will be serviceable
Didn't used to be this
with some
overgrown.
fallbacks. My choices will have weight to them, and I can go about this game in a variety of different ways. And that all in all, this game will be fun. But we shall see when the game is fully released, February 2025, day one on Game Pass, on Steam, Battle.net, all that fun stuff. Look, tap in for more video game discussions. I will be posting a lot more content on here, including the release of my show, Checkpoint, video essays, the whole nine. I know you don't know who I am now, but you will in the future. Lock in.